Hi there everybody, it's me, RadiantV1, and today I'm going to teach you about the alphabet. If you don't know what the alphabet is, which is highly unlikely, it's basically this writing system with a bunch of letters, each with one syllable apart from W, and each one making at least one sound. So, it might be just me, but I feel as though every single person on this website has their own fixing the alphabet video. And while yes, there are problems with the alphabet, nobody gets it right because they are not as smart 400 IQ as I am. So I am going to do an official alphabet fix. So here we go. A bunch of changes to the alphabet and from the alphabet to the Betabet, because I said so, and I am better than all the other YouTubers combined. Let's go! Okay. So the way I am going to do this is I am going to keep every letter. However, I'm going to change a few of their purposes. So the letter I am going to fix first is C, because the K and S sound that C normally makes are also used by K and S. So what's the point when we already have two letters of the alphabet for that exact purpose? However, I am smart. I am 300 IQ. And I know what's happening when it comes to fixing the alphabet. However, these amateur alphabet enthusiasts conveniently forget that CH is a thing that exists. It is a sound that is unique to C, and therefore, if we drop C, replace it with K or S, then we wouldn't have any to make the ch sound. So how about we replace all C's with K's or S's? Meanwhile, we reuse C and make it say ch, which doesn't have a unique letter of the alphabet. That way, K and S can do their own thing. Meanwhile, C actually serves the purpose of the alphabet. Wouldn't that be so crazy? Plus, the picture that contains a K and a C. Picture. The next letter I am going to fix is often hard to fix. E. You know how it sometimes sound like an I, like in English? No. It's not going to exist anymore. England is going to have an I instead of an E sounding. The next letter I am going to fix is you know how it can sometimes sound like a V, like in of? No, that's not going to exist anymore. Of is going to have a V instead of an F sounding like a V. Now, G and don't even get me started. G is going to sound like G and J is going to sound like J, and that's it. No discussions. So that means the age-old debate of if it's GIF or GIF. It's GIF. Sorry. Words like gem, gentle, and giant all start with a J now. So for words like champagne, Who was the genius who decided, yeah, champagne, let's put CH at the start. It's not champagne. From now on, champagne is going to start with an SH. Anyway, back to fixing single letters. The next letter we are going to fix is Q. Now, this letter is never used on its own and is only ever used as part of a. By always, I mean most of the time. There are a few words which contain a Q not followed by a letter U, so I will make it so that Q is always followed by a letter U. Not only that, U will also only make the Q sound, which I'll get to in a second. And everything representing the Q sound will be QU. So for words like Kwanzaa, which for some reason have a KW in it, that is going to have a KW at the so KW, gone. Now, like I have just said, QU will only able to be make Q sound. So, Misty, yeah, you probably know what I'm going to. The next letter I am going to is S. You know how it can sometimes sound like a Z? Like in twigs? No, that's not going to exist anymore. Twigs is going to be a Z instead of the S sounding like a Z. Now, the next letter I am going to fix is now, I'm fine with W making the W sound. I'm fine with it. The problem is that it's W, which implies that it is U two times. Except it's not. It's two V's. Which is kind of dumb. However, we can't just double V either. Because the thing is, that's still 3 syllables. Which doesn't match the alphabet, where the name of every other letter is 1 syllable long. So, how about we subtract W's name as much as possible and just call them done. On with our lives. Which is honestly what we should have done a long time ago. The next letter I am going to fix is X. It makes the KS sound, which is convenient. What isn't convenient is that he sometimes makes the Z sound at the start of words, like in xylophone. So, yeah, remove that X and replace it with a Z. Xylophone now starts with a Z. X will only make the X sound, which I'll get into in a second. Not only that, everything representing the X sound will be an X. Check. Rocks. Sure. You bet. Fox. The same. But what won't stay the same is luxury. G in luxury. For now. Exams. GZ. Ignore that S. I put in there my mistake. Now, our next letter, Y, is always trying to get into a certain club. Which she's actually not in this club and therefore isn't supposed to join it. So this letter is only able to make the y sound, which means it's only a consonant. Only ever a consonant. I'll get to more of that in a second. But what you need to know is that it's trying to get into a club that it's not in for some reason. Can you guess what this club is? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this question. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and it's Reuzd Kontent, which for some reason has Y as a number. So I am going to eliminate Y from that. A-E-I-O-U are the only vowels in English from now on. Now the next I'm going to fix, and the final letter I'm going to fix, is Z. You know how two of them can sometimes sound like a pizzeria? No, that's not going to exist anymore. Pizzeria is going to have a T instead of the Z sounding like a TS. This also applies to So, can you think of a way that we can continue our fixings of the alphabet? What else are bonus features? Yeah? Bonus features. Bonus feature number 1, consonant digraphs. Okay, so a consonant digraph is basically when two letters sound like a letter that already exists. I'm talking about A, A, C, K, D, D, and G, H, K, and L, L, and B, and N, P, H, S, S, T, H, T, T, W, H, and Z, Z. So, these consonant digraphs are extremely annoying. There's even a digraph PH in the name, which is why I'm going to remove them from English. So, Kwanzaa, fix the fact is that we will only have CK. Addition has 1 D. And TIE in Shun, no. We'll have an SH. Have you guys heard of Laffy Taffy? It's basically just candy from Willy Wonka's imagination. But two of the same consonant digraphs and an unneeded Y vowel makes it a horror. So, Laffy Taffy is now going to look like this. G-O-S-T for ghost. That makes sense. So, from now on, it's just going to be G-O-S-T. Doorknob. K-N. Gone. No. 1 L. Falling. Nub. The non-letter of this is B. B is too numb to be spelt for this word. Jene, 2, 1 consonant digraph, and 1 unneeded Y vowel. So Jene will be spelled J-E-N-E from now on. Why has phone got to start with a PH? It's going to start with F from now on. Philosophy. Yeah, my philosophy is that it doesn't start with a PH and it starts. Thank you. One S word. Oh. Two different consonant diagrams, TH and then B. So form is F M that. The side TH could also make in bathe. So TH is gone. Replace it with extra V's. Unforgettable. The unforgettable part of this video is that I'm going to remove the D. There will no longer be an H in whale. There will be a dog. With two different consonant diagrams, WH and ZZ. So dog with is going to be dog Z. That's it. Bonus feature number 2. Silent letters. Now, here's this. Why do there have to be silent letters? Like, why are we going to have a letter if it doesn't do anything? The only silent letter that debatably does something is E. But that still just confuses people. So no more silent E's. The silent letters are the worst. They do nothing and they're pointless. Some words are literally just one letter sounds, but they're dragged out that you don't even say. Like you could say R instead of R, or U instead of U, or instead of Q you could say, well, Q. Yeah, so using silent is bad. This also combines with the changes that we made with X from before. So that there's no longer the front of extreme. Bonus feature number 3. The order of the alphabet. Okay, so decided that the alphabet should be in that order. I don't like it. You know, I'm going to do something real crazy. Okay, now the order is so much more convenient. We always use keyboards. There we go. Keyboard order. But number 4, cursive. Now imagine looking at a word and you can't tell at all what it says because it's curly. That sucks, right? So cursive is banned. So cursive always confuses me. Like, look at this. Look. What does this say? Huh? I still don't know. So yeah, this includes signatures. So yeah, no signatures. Actually, instead, everyone now has to do their own little logo. So if Super Society's number law 14 were to write her signature, she'd basically draw a little box and draw a picture of herself for her own little logo for, shall we say, permission slips? I don't really know what signatures are for. So yeah, no signatures. Bonus feature 5. Jene Wakman is to replace all punctuation. That's right, my favourite teenage robot is going to be the new punctuation, which is why I have set up a law. It says, no punctuation. It is against the law to use punctuation on these premises. You must buy or use Jene Wakman. Bonus feature number 6. Okay. So I've heard people saying to me that there are other languages or whatever. And to me, that sounds like a silly excuse to stop me fixing the alphabet further. You guys end up bringing me different writing systems, but I don't know them. So yeah, English is the only language. Anyway, for bonus number 7, I know that there's some guy named Mike Paul, link to his channel in the description, who brings up a great point. We can change how some words work. If a word can be spelt simpler with the same exact sound, then you have to do it. So like for vote, you just take out the last 3 letters. So it's V-O. Good job, Mike. Now, as a clarification, Wakman was just used exactly how these people did it. To replace all punctuation. For example, to replace full stops, exclamation points or question marks right at the end. Like you're done saying what you said. It's like saying oval on a walkie-talkie. So you just put her right at the end, like I have done with the entire alphabet. She is there at the end of the alphabet. At the end of the alphabet. At the end of the alphabet. Yep, at the very end of the alphabet. How many times do I have to tell you? Not so much. Now typing. This, admittedly, it was an oversight. But with the power of so many random comments that use this alphabet properly, I present you the correct way to type out this flawless art. Not typing low. So there you go. This is how you officially type out the alphabet. Here's your reference, typed. So yeah, whenever you are using your keyboard, just use this typing. But now it's time for a new addition. Numbers. We have stuck with the same base 10 system since the 7th century. It's been the same for so long, and this is the Betabet that we're talking about. We need to strive for better, bigger. This is why I'm officially changing the standard to be base 11. You might think that this is a downgrade, but you're just not used to it. Think of the possibilities. Numbers are now 11 times bigger. What used to be a full tank of gas is now 10/11ths of a tank of gas. Plus, think of how much farther we go if we add that extra 11. Now, with be silly for me to use 10 as the last of the base 11 because the 1 and 0 are already being used. So we need another number. A completely new design for the fresh new Betabet numbering system. Or rather, an oracle word. That's right, Jene Wakman! I lied to you before. I told you that the only purpose for Jene Wakman was for replacing all punctuation. When in reality, Jene Wakman's main purpose is to serve us as the highest ranked digit of them all. Base Jene Wakman number system. And that's not all. Lowercase numbers. Seriously. How have we gone 4 million years with lowercase letters, but without lowercase numbers? Well, first, let me clarify what the uppercase numbers look like. 0 is a circle with a hole in it. We're not confusing him with a no. 1 is written with the top and the bottom line. 2 is pretty regular. 3 yeah. 4 is all yet a U with the end sticky out. 5 is this. 6 is this. 7 is only straight lines. Yep. None of this. No. None of that. Straight lines only. 8 is circles. 9 is an upside down 6. Jene is exactly her. Now for lowercase. 0 still remains the same. But that top half, yeah, we take it off. So that's lowercase 0. Lowercase 1. We take off the hook. That's lowercase 1. For 2, we keep the whole of the top, the dome, and the bottom, and get rid of the middle, and bring the dome right to the bottom. Lowercase 2. So 3 is basically back with C as a 4. Chop off the ends. 5 is basically a little Waluigi. 6, we don't let it connect at the end and turn it negative 90 degrees. 7, we just make a smaller. 8, we keep the bottom circle, but the top circle we get much smaller. 9, pretty obvious. The upside down as 6. And that's lowercase Jene. So, I think we did it, guys. This is about 2 better than the last alphabet, and it is perfectly flawless. Seriously, there are no problems with it. Absolutely no problems whatsoever with this version of the alphabet. Well done for me. Well done to me on fixing the alphabet to make it way better than it right now is. Thanks for making me explode in popularity on the other videos. It's great to see that you all think I'm objectively right about everything. So yeah, I really expect everyone to be using this within the next 2 months. And yeah, that's about it. You're welcome. Wait! I forgot to tell you the silent E at the end. Boing. You're welcome.